Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the Last Word Music. And today we got another banger for you, another banger. We got Deem, we got Scotty, we got
What it
myself.
do?
And today we're bringing you top 5 underrated rappers in the game.
Woo!
Just a reminder, this is all our opinion. It's all our
Man,
personal.
it says gift.com in the bottom of your flight pick, dog.
Don't hate.
As y'all can see, Dimitri has flight
And this
reacts.
girl's disingenuous.
Don't stop. But anyway, who wants to start us off with their number 5 underrated rapper in the game right now?
I say we have Scott start this one off, man.
All
All right, guys, whatever you say. So,
Scotty.
you guys probably have never listened to this guy in your entire life.
Classic
Same.
Scott, classic.
JPEG Mafia.
Oh,
He's-
I've heard of him.
I don't know who that is.
I really like him. His recent album, All My Heroes Are Cornballs, was phenomenal. It's pretty funny. He's comedic, and his sampling is really just exotic. And he uses all sorts of like weird noises.
Like Joe.
Yeah.
Another underrated artist.
He's put out 2 really good albums so far in Veteran and All My Heroes Are Cornballs.
Yeah.
Gotten a lot of critical acclaim. He's just kind of a smaller rapper, kind of based in like Baltimore. He was actually served in the military, and so he's got kind of a cool background. And I don't know, he just is very emotional on his tracks, and he raps about really weird stuff, but he makes it work, and beats are really nice behind him. He's got a unique flow, and his singing voice is pretty good too. So I put him at number 5 because nobody really knows about him.
Okay. I see you. Good pick. Charlie, what you got?
You want me to go? Okay.
Yeah.
My number 5, you guys have probably also never heard of, unless you've watched the show on Netflix, Rhythm and Flow.
I have not. No, the one where Cardi B's a host?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Dude, the only,
I'm just checking.
Yeah, the only host that I could stand was actually was T.I.
Chance?
No, Chance was annoying. Watch the show, you'll understand, dude. Chance was so annoying.
Okay.
But it was the winner of that show. His name is D Smoke out of Inglewood, California.
Okay.
And he basically a lot of like a West Coast style Eminem, where it's just like he had a really I know.
Like, so my
Yo,
number
start the
4
memes
pick-
in the comments. Start the
Number
memes
4
in the
pick-
comments. This man can't
number
go
2
20. This man
pick is the
seconds
East
without talking
Coast
about
Eminem.
This man
My
can't
number
go
1
10 minutes without talking about Marshall Mathers, man. 10 minutes, man.
Doug, what did you say his guy's name was again? D Smoke?
D Smoke, Pop Smoke.
Yeah, D
Nah,
Smoke.
I'm kidding. Okay,
Can
Charlie,
I tell you
continue.
about D Smoke?
No, continue. Continue
Go ahead,
about
Joe.
D Smoke. Continue.
Okay, so he also had to deal with his dad leaving, even though his dad left to go in the military. So he did end up coming back, but like he had a lot of siblings growing up, and I think he was one of the older kids in the household, so he had to do a lot of the somewhat raising. He had to mature quickly. He lived like a really poor life.
Mhm.
And actually before the show, while he was working on his music, he was a Spanish teacher at a middle school. So he actually incorporates quite a bit of Spanish into his rapping. Like the song, I think it's called Let Me Go, where he talks about police brutality in his neighborhood. The whole second verse is in Spanish. And
wow.
I think he
That's
does
pretty
it in
cool.
a way where he can rhyme the Spanish words together, where
Like J
it
Balvin.
actually- yeah, shut up. Stop. Anyway, D Smoke's just a very real artist, and you know how much I love real artists. If you got something to say, it really speaks to me. So, D Smoke, my number 5.
Nice. Okay. My number 5 is definitely the most mainstream out of the 3, as I've never heard of Charlie's pick. And I have heard of JPEG Mafia, but to a lesser extent. Number 5, I got Denzel Curry. Now, I know what everyone's thinking in the comments, and whoever's watching, Denzel Curry isn't underrated. He isn't really underrated. But yes, he is. He is underrated as shit. I think he is probably right now a top 5, maybe top 10 rapper in the game. and I see almost no credit coming his way in any form. Like, from like I see people raving about Lil Uzi and raving about Playboy Cardi
And
and
NBA young boy.
and NBA young boy to all these fools saying NBA young boy is best in the game. Please stop. Denzel Curry is miles ahead of all of these rappers. He's miles ahead of I'd say he's better than pretty much anyone. Right, he's right. I'd say he's below that tier of like those like tops. But I think if you give him a few years, he can definitely be there. No one. I think people slept on Unlocked with Kenny Beats,
I
and
loved Unlocked.
yeah, it was short. It was
With him.
concise.
Go check it out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we did a review on it. Go check it out. It was short. It was concise. Great beats. Nice little like low key storyline. And it was just Denzel showing off the rapping ability, and I don't think there are a lot of artists in the game right now, aside from the previously established like top of the game people like Kendrick and stuff like that can meld all the stuff that he's doing with production and all that. And go check out Taboo. It was a great album. I think it was probably album of the year. Back in, I think 2018 was when it dropped. I think it was probably album of the year, aside from another album which I will speak about later on this list. But Denzel Curry still slept on. Zoo was a great album too. Everybody slept on Zoo. This man is pumping out music, and it's all high quality, and these people aren't checking him out. Stop listening to like.
I'm not like bashing on the Denzel Curry pick or like saying his albums are trash or anything. I'm saying just because you said there was one album that I hadn't talked about that we'll talk about later for that album of the year, I'm guessing it's Igor.
It is not Igor. Igor was 2019. Igor was 2019.
Oh, I guess it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's okay.
Tyler's not on your list?
No, Tyler's not on my list.
Wow.
I think he's like well regarded enough. I don't think I'd put him in the underrated, but
Okay.
Yeah. Denzel Curry still slept on.
Okay.
That's my number 5.
Cool.
All right, let's see it, Scotty.
So number 4, I said Tyler the Creator's old buddy from Odd Future, Earl Sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to me, Earl Sweatshirt is really, really slept on, especially commercially. Critically, he's gotten some acclaim, which he deserves. His pen game is really unrivaled. He, like I said, his father, I think in another video, his father was a poet, and he's got music in the family because I think his uncle was Hugh Masekela, the famous brass player. So musically, he's very inclined, and his pen game, like I said, is just phenomenal. His lyrics are great, meaningful, personal. I think part of the reason why he's not as big is he has struggled a lot with depression, and he's very much shunned kind of like the spotlight and popularity. But all of his albums he's released so far, I think he's dropped 3 and then kind of like a mixtape and an EP. They've all been really good. Some Rap Songs was honestly probably my favorite album of 2018, right up there with Taboo. It's very short. All the songs, a lot of his songs are barely even a minute long, and he just uses the strangest samples. But musically, it just tells this story of kind of like his depression and how he deals with it in almost like an abstract art type of form. And so I think his flows are phenomenal. Lyrically, I think he's top notch. Pen game is great. So that's why I say Earl Sweatshirt, super slept on, barely even recognized. He's one of the top rappers, in my opinion.
Okay. That's a good pick.
Good pick. I see you.
Earl the hooded sweater or whatever his name is that help you put together.
Okay, Charlie, what you got for number 4?
Okay, so I know Dimitri's not gonna like this pick. Scotty, I don't know how you're about to feel about it. But before
is it an NF?
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm just checking. Before
you jump down my throat, here is just like hear me out, all right?
Okay.
It's Jaden Smith. Okay,
I'm gonna hear you out.
Listen to his music, Dimitri.
Yes, I have. I've listened to Iris and Sire because he thinks he's cool. He just spelled Sire backwards. Yes.
Okay. So, I really enjoyed Iris. I don't really understand why you didn't, Dimitri.
Hey, I'm letting you talk. I don't think you want to get me started on talking about Jane Smith. Yeah.
I just really think the way he used this like kind of outlandish production, because it's honestly a sound I'd never really heard before. What's that look for, dog?
I don't know if hey, you just keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, I'll keep going. Has anybody in the rap game ever rapped over a track where there's like a literal freaking razor, freaking buzz cut thing?
I know the track you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it, but I know the track you're talking about.
Hey,
I
Chuck,
was not messing with that track.
I was so messing with that track, bro.
I will say, Chuck, Jaden Smith's production is usually pretty refreshing for me, but I think lyrically is where he lacks a little bit. He tends to come off as kind of arrogant and
Oh yeah,
self-enlightened
I'm not doubting
and
that.
kind of, push that onto other people. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not saying his lyrics were like top notch. I'm saying like
mhm.
the
His
sort of
production is usually sonically pretty good.
the sort of like sonic sound he's able to produce with his production, and kind of his word choice that flows in and out of that production is kind of what I find appealing. There's no lyrical content, or at least little to none. Um and honestly, he doesn't really make an attempt most of the time. It's
Mhm.
basically he knows what his music is, and it's supposed to be like kind of this otherworldly sound, and it's something I really enjoy, honestly.
Okay. Okay. My number 4. I think Scott will really like this pick. I went with Freddie Gibbs. Kind of the combo with Madlib, though. You can't really have right.
Yeah.
At this point in their careers, you can't have one without the other.
Hmm.
I went with Freddie Gibbs because I just recently got put on the Bandana. And I think that was a really, really good album. I think it was super slept on. And what shocked me most was like I literally never heard of this album, and I generally stay up to date with who's dropping and all of that. I had never heard of this album, and I had not seen it receive like any recognition. Outside of my boy Sean C on YouTube. Shout out Sean C. He's a great YouTuber. But yeah, that album was great. Pinata was also really good. From what I haven't listened to it as thoroughly as Bandana, but it's still a solid, really solid album. And these dudes are receiving like no credit for these albums. I'm
Yeah,
like
no good.
I know Freddie Gibbs is already like a previously established artist, and he's like relatively well known, but I think this duo is so slept on. Like no one's talking about it. I think it got overshadowed by a lot of way worse albums back, or when Pinata dropped and when Bandana dropped in 2019. So
Yeah, I
that's my
think
pick.
the common theme between these guys, Dean, for me is they receive
Yeah,
the critical acclaim that they deserve. It's just in terms of the general population and commercially they aren't as successful.
yeah,
And my number 3 rapper, if I think of next, was Freddie Gibbs, same guy.
yeah.
So yeah,
Like
not much more to say there. I
like
think his
on Pitchfork, Bandana received an 8.1. Like
Yeah, and I would give it even higher than that. I mean, the production on there is top notch with Madlib, who's historically a great producer.
yeah,
And Freddie Gibbs' vocal
great
delivery,
digger.
his lyrics are fascinating. He tells a very good story. It's unique, and yeah, I mean, there isn't just much more to say. He's strong in pretty much every category.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my number 3 now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I have a guy called Boogie. Not a boogie with a hoodie. His name is just Boogie. And
Nice.
he is signed to Shady Records.
This man,
Checks out.
Um
My number one pick.
bro,
They call
spam in the
him. They call
comments,
him
man.
the
Clown
Eminem.
Chuck, please. Give Chuck a little
um
bit. Give Chuck a
no,
no.
no,
It's all love. It's all love, Chuck. It's all love.
bro.
Go for it.
Um okay, so his album, wait, I forget what it was called though. It was a really good album though.
Everything's for sale.
What do you say, Scotty?
Is that the name of the album? Everything's for sale.
Yeah, Everything's for Sale. That is the name of the album. Thank you.
Good job, Scotty, with the
Yeah,
save.
bro. With the save, bro. Thank you. He's just I've talked way too much on this channel about how much I love like real rappers, and if you can speak thoroughly about your life, and if you can like be truthful with the words you say, then I kind of gravitate towards you. And Boogie talks a lot about the struggles in his life. Sure, there's bangers that album, like Soho featuring j.i.d. He's got Rainy Days with Eminem. He's got a nice little soulful track with Black called, what was it called? Called Skydive 2. But in songs like Whose Fault, he talks about the problem of being, oh God, Peter.
Shout out, Peter.
Shout out.
Shout out, Peter.
He talks about like the struggles of being divorced and having a child,
Mhm.
and the struggles of like having to kind of sacrifice your pride in some points, but at the same time like your child.
Is he playing Brawlhalla?
Perhaps, yes. He may also be divorced with a child.
Yo, go check out Brawlhalla. That game is fun. Anyway, sorry, Chuck. Continue.
No, you're good. And actually the intro track, Tired / Reflections, he talks about how he's just like, he's fed up with the way the world is, and how he kind of takes an introspective look and is like, well, is it me? Am I really like taking my out on the world and blaming the world and saying like F the world and all of this, or is it actually me, or am I at war with myself? And that was kind of an interesting listen as he had that debate with himself. So, you know, I just felt like he had to grace the list at some point, and this is where he was.
Okay. Nice. Scotty, number 3.
Number 3 for me, Big Crit, the King Remembered in Time. So the reason why I went with Big Crit is I feel like he's very slept on. He only has like I'd say, 1 million listeners on Spotify.
Oh, is this the dude who you were going to do the discography instead of Kanye?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to do him. So he's put out 3 really good albums so far in Live from the Underground, Cadillactica, and Forever is a Mighty Long Time. His more recent one, Crit Is Here, I didn't really like as much, but it was still decent, solid album. But
how long has Big Crit like been in the game or been in rap?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think he's been putting stuff out since like 2010-ish. So
okay.
Yeah, he's been in it for a while, but he's made some really good albums that are really slept on. Like the album Forever is a Mighty Long Time, for example, is my personal favorite of his. He kind of like split off from his label and went really independent. It was a bold move, and he decided to release this massive double LP with like 25 tracks on it. And to me, I just loved the album. It was phenomenal. It brought back kind of like reminiscent vibes of like almost Outkast with like this southern funk hip hop. He's from Mississippi, and so he talks about that a lot. And the first half of the album is very catchy. He has a lot of good features like CeeLo Green, and then T.I.'s on there.
Nice.
But the second half is when he becomes a lot more introspective. He brings in some almost like this one just completely instrumental track that sounds almost like a Pink Floyd song. It's a lot chiller, really cool vibe. So I would recommend checking out that album. That's why I put Big Crit as a top 3 underrated rapper.
Nice. Okay. Number 3 for me, I went with Young Goat, Vince Staples. This man, I love this man's albums. I love Big Fish Theory, and I think FM, his most probably mainstream mainstream album, still wasn't like that crazy mainstream. I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it in general, like just like just like friends or anything, or like people at school or anything like that. I don't hear anybody talking about it. I think it was great overall. Outside is a great track. I think even his older stuff like Summertime '06 is pretty solid. Not my personal favorite. Big Fish Theory is a great album. I think it was back in 2017 when it dropped, and I think that was still pretty slept on. Not necessarily critically, but and I think he's kind of a breath of fresh air in today's rap, with a lot of the younger artists being a lot more inclined towards like mumble and trap rap. He's very like West Coast. He's like fuses like traditional West Coast with kind of a new wave of rap kind of bounce, and it's really nice. A lot of tracks he can go introspective, but he keeps it light. He keeps it moving. FM is a really short album, but it's a really fun listen. I recommend you go check out Vince Staples. I think he's a great artist.
All right, so we're at number 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I have the aforementioned j.i.d. actually.
Okay.
So honestly, I'd never heard of him before he got put on the XXL freshman list.
We're at number 2, right? Just checking.
Yeah, we're at number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as soon as I saw he was on there, I had no idea who he was. I don't even remember most of the guys who were on that year, but I heard his freestyle and I knew this guy could spit.
It's crazy.
So I waited a little bit, and then DiCaprio 2 dropped. And I was like, okay, I remember this dude from the freestyle. I got to check it out. And this was actually, I think for 2018, this was one of my top 5 albums of the year. I absolutely loved DiCaprio 2. It was so interesting to kind of go through it and listen to it almost as if it was like a TV show or like a movie of some sort.
Yeah.
As he intended,
Hence
because
hence the name.
Because hence DiCaprio too. He because every now and then he would have like the channel flips from like, he also did that in DiCaprio 1. He had the channel flips where it would like be an excuse for him to switch up the beat. So like probably 45 seconds through one of the songs called Slick Talk, where he's got like this really nice beat that he's absolutely flowing over and showing off his incredible rapping ability.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like static, and then a new beat comes on. It's kind of like Mad City. Like, you remember the beat switch from Mad City? It reminds me a lot of that.
You know, a lot of people compare j.i.d.
and Kendrick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I can totally see the comparisons.
I see it too.
You definitely got like spitter tracks like Off D's with J. Cole. They just go crazy on that one.
Nasty. Yeah.
You got songs like Mounted Up, where the entire third verse is just him like just showing how fast he can rap.
Yeah.
But he's also got like the really like emotional tracks. He got 151 Rum. When you listen to it, the beat's kind of like wonky at first, and it's kind of an acquired taste. But once you start to listen to the words he's saying and how gang violence kind of affected his life and how he lost a friend to it, it really just kind of like puts everything in a new perspective. He talked about his relationship issues on the song called Tired. And of course he had 2 R&B artists on it with him, Six Lack and Ella May. Absolutely amazing song. I absolutely love DiCaprio too, and it's got me really hyping up j.i.d. for his future projects.
Nice.
And he was no slouch on Revenge of the Dreamers, the new Revenge of the Dreamers.
Hell no, he was no slouch. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. I'll just save some time. j.i.d. was also my number 2, but I think Charlie said everything. Charlie said everything that needs to be said about j.i.d. So we'll just move to Scott and keep it moving to number 1.
All right, so my number 1 most underrated rapper.
Wait, did you say your number 2 yet?
Yeah, that was – I accidentally Yeah, that what's his name? Big Crit was 3, but he was actually 2.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I've already gone through 4 yet. So number 1 is Killer Mike. I don't know if you guys know who this is. I actually first heard of Killer Mike. You'll know this team from the song Hood Politics off To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh.
You know the part where he's like, critics want to mention that they miss when hip hop was rapping.
Yeah.
If you did, then Killer Mike could be platinum.
Yeah.
So I was okay. I had to check out this Killer Mike guy recommendation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I checked him out, and he is phenomenal. Honestly, he's an old school hip hop artist. He used to work with Outkast, and his flows are just aggressive. He's vicious. He's unapologetic. He's dropped these 3 albums with LP as the duo Run the Jewels. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I have heard of them. Yeah.
Put out 3 phenomenal albums that are just completely revolutionary, almost. You know, just like defying conventional logic, talking about everything from politics to religion to whatever. Truly profound albums. And he's a pretty funny guy too, and he can intersperse the seriousness with good comedy. They dropped after Run the Jewels 2, they actually remixed the entire album and released Meow the Jewels, which is the same album but with cats meowing as all the beats for every single track. So
what the hell?
Yeah, I mean
these guys were on the weed, man.
Yeah,
what?
Mike, he's crazy, dog. He actually ran for political office, and he just like everything he says is vicious. It's bold.
He just doesn't care, bro.
Wow.
He just does anything he wants, bro. Okay, maybe I gotta check him out then. Damn. Okay. Okay, Charlie. What's number 1? Marshall Mathers.
Really, man?
I'm just checking.
Bro, it's a different white guy from Detroit, all right?
NF.
Possibly NF.
Is it NF? Are you serious?
bro. It's NF.
Oh my God, man.
How could it be anyone else, man? Nobody talks
Literally
about
Eminem
no one
light, bro.
No one respects NF, bro. Absolutely no one respects NF.
Bro, it's like you know the meme where it's like, Mom, can we have Eminem? And then it's like, no, we have Eminem at home. And Eminem at home is NF, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's funny. So I don't think I've talked about NF nearly enough on this channel. I know I have to you guys, but I'm gonna bore you and talk about him again.
Where was he in the top 10 rap albums? I know he was on there. I wasn't.
He was
I think he was 10 for the search.
10?
The Search was number 10. Yeah.
Okay.
I really enjoyed his latest project, The Search. There was so much just raw emotion, and just so much introspective nature of the album. He talked a lot about just him going about his daily life, and just how he kind of copes with all the like regular stressors that occur in anyone's life. However, he suffers from a mental disorder. I think it's ADD, where he just like he struggles to go through everyday life really easily. And another thing, the reason why he's number one, actually, the story about this is when he drops his latest single, Paid My Dues.
When was that?
It was probably, when was it? I don't know. It was definitely, it was sometime this year. Yeah, I think it was like January, maybe February.
Okay.
Everybody on YouTube was posting like, oh my gosh, NF, first reaction, Paid My Dues. Who is this guy? Paid My Dues, NF. Nobody knew who this guy was, but they know after this song. They saw his storytelling ability in this song. They saw his raw emotion in this song. They saw his God-given talent for rap. They saw his amazing flow schemes where this entire second verse is a triplet. The entire second verse is a triplet. And just his earlier stuff too is just absolutely fantastic. He talks about obviously what I aforementioned, just regular stressors in everyday life, but he talked about his upbringing. He talked about how he's got a whole song dedicated to the death of his mother. That's really emotional. I just think he's very, very slept on just because he doesn't curse in his music, and I think that's really unfair. So I had to shout him out.
You know, Chuck, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, man. I've actually been listening to NF since 2016.
Have you?
I have, because he was part of the soundtrack for Madden 16.
Yo, why did you do him like that, man?
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Why did you do Charlie like that? Dude, Charlie, you just made Charlie's day, and then you stripped it from him, bro.
Hey, no.
Charlie's gonna play Marvin's Room after this, man. He's being
how could you leave us by NF?
But anyways, I'll have to check NF out with such a high recommendation for you, Chuck. And I remember a song from Madden 16 actually wasn't bad at all. So
that was probably off Perception.
Mm-hmm.
That was Perception was probably his second best album after The Search.
Scott's like, yes, Perception.
It's definitely,
I do know
it's
that
definitely
album.
just like a rise in quality. I swear. Like I would listen to it in order because the way he kind of tells his story, it's through every album and he refers back to every past album. Very like.
Oh, gotcha.
That's actually pretty cool.
So I would definitely like listen to it from the beginning. I would start with Mansion. You're gonna have to truck through Mansion because Mansion's not amazing, but like he's definitely got some high points on that album, and then it keeps going. It keeps getting better, man.
Cool.
Okay, number one. I'm sure all the viewers that have been watching my screen this whole time know who my number one is.
Please no, bro.
The God, the one and only. Flight Reacts. Banger after banger, bro. Heat Check. Feelings.
Broke Boy.
Check out the Broke Boy. Check out the new track, Disingenuous. No, I'm kidding, guys. I did not go with Flight Reacts. He just missed the top 5. I would definitely put him top 10.
Definitely number 6, man.
Check out my boy. My number one actually is Saba, and I got put on to Saba back in 2018, which is probably when most people got put onto him, which when he dropped Care for Me, which I think, in my opinion, is the best rap album of 2018. The production is really, really lo-fi, which I was actually really surprised by when I first went into the album. I was not expecting an album like this to have such lo-fi style beats, really, really muddled drums, really low key, nothing really trap heavy. Um, really laid back melodies, laid back synths, laid back. Just the whole vibe of the album is laid back. But what isn't laid back really is the topics that Saba talks about on this album. Talking about serious relationship issues on his Eminem shit, toxic relationships. Though personally, I vibe with it more just with how how he sounds. I think his voice is great. I think he kind of has that ability to create different vocal inflections, kind of like Kendrick Lamar in the way that he can stretch and twist his voice a lot and change his cadences and all of that. I think Prom/King or Prom King, if you just want to say it normally, I think is one of the best rap songs ever made, just with the storytelling, talking about how it just starts off from his point of view of being this high schooler, kind of a loser. He has he doesn't have a date for prom, and he gets hooked up by his cousin. His cousin DMs this girl for him, and his cousin's like, yo, I got you, I got a date. And then it just slowly becomes like a story about prom night, just into him developing, kind of like being best friends with his cousin Walter. And it's recounting the day that Walter got shot in Chicago. And it was really heavy, and it was a great song. I think I don't want to rank it in numbers, but I really do think it is one of the best storytelling rap songs at least ever made. You got other songs on here. Calligraphy, Gray is really laid back. He's kind of got some jazz vibes on some of this, kind of on a little bit To Pimp a Butterfly kind of vibe, but not as heavy. Really lo-fi. I think he's really slept on. Everyone, go check out Saba. Great artist.
And Deem, I got to say, Bucket List Project was a very enjoyable listen as well.
What?
His other album, Bucket List Project.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot too. Songs like Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah, I messed with that project back in when it dropped in 2016. I think Care for Me is
a lot better. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Bucket List Project's a little more raw, just kind of
after Scotty Shrek'd me, bro.
More what? What'd you say?
I'm gonna be listening to a song off of Take Care in just a minute, man.
I don't think we need any hints as to what it is. Close to the rose.
Times we had.
But yeah, I think that wraps it up, boys.
You found. And since you picked up, I know he's not.
I think we're just gonna let Charlie go, bro.
Chuck, you take us out of the video with your singing.
Do better.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
And this girl's disingenuous.
Stop! No flight.
Mars and Venus. What? Yo, PD, take us out. No, but for real.
Take us out, big man. Yo, on the real though, guys, thank you for watching. Comment down any rappers you need some recognition too. Maybe
for real.
Petey's
passionate, bro. He's passionate.
He's just like me when I'm talking about Eminem.
We need to get Petey on here, bro. 4-man.
Hey, y'all loved him on that vid. Top 5 rappers: 21 Savage and Kodak.
Kodak Black, Sniper Gang.
I was actually thinking about it today, bro. Kodak's best track, arguably, is "Roll in Peace," and the only lyric I remember from his is eating on you N-words, no ketchup.
Hey, yeah. Kodak, he got bars for days, man.
Bar.
Yeah, man. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys feel like we deserve. This has been The Last Word.